Thank you for listening to the Nate Jackson Podcasting Network.
What up, beautiful people? It's your boy, Nate Jackson, and this is the Super Funny Comedy Club podcast. I want to introduce you to the co-host of the show. I'm excited to
It's Ayano. How's it going?
How you doing, Queen?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Fantastic. And
Good.
to her left, the superstar.
Hey, it's Joy, guys. Did you miss me? I think every episode they miss me. I think I'm just, I don't
Fan
know.
favorite?
Right? Not even a favorite, just the spice. You know, you just miss salt and pepper in your food.
Yeah.
A little hot sauce.
A little salt, pepper
You know,
manipulation.
hey, a little manipulation, you know, a little fusion in there.
There you go. In case you want to know what she's talking about with manipulation, check out episode 3 of the show where you can
Yes.
find out how Joy thinks
I think
the
there's another
world
episode,
goes
too.
round.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a couple where you drop
Oh,
diving in.
easily.
several.
Diving.
Let's go.
I'm diving in, man. I saw a video that Dave Chappelle posted where he and a few of his friends went to Kanye West's property to check on him because his ass has lost his marbles again. So, let's just get into it.
Yeah,
Huh?
look.
First thing, first and foremost, is you got to be out your mind to make the greatest comic in history. Just do a joke right now. Just give me one right now. As if he's Rodney Dangerfield and he has dad jokes ready to go. Kanye, make a beat right now in the middle of this field on this gravel on your farm.
In
Make that.
Wisconsin.
Context is everything, right? You don't just ask a baseball player to hit a home run and you guys are at church. Like, Dave is a consummate professional. There's no question whether or not he has jokes. He's there to check on your mental health. And you want to make, and Kanye's like, let's take a picture. Come on, everyone take a picture. Let's do it. Dave, tell a joke.
He's like parents that when your family comes over on Thanksgiving and
Yeah.
they're like, do that little dance. And you're just like, no, mom, do it. And it's just awkward. You're not even enthusiastic about it. It's just
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
dance
but a
sucks.
dance is doable. You have the dance ready to go. Like, all right, I'll hit 2 woes and a running man. You're like, yo, Dave, tell a joke. And if you watch Dave, you like how he puts together and weaves multiple bits into these masterful stories. Dave doesn't just tell jokes anymore. Dave tells experiences. So when you listen to him, you get taken on a little trip somewhere. And so it's absolutely, I just felt like it was outrageous. Like, I hate being put on the spot like that by anybody.
And it's a sensitive moment. Like Dave went through his own allegations of being called crazy, of snapping. And he came out there like, this is a real thing. And I want you to know, black man, I support you. Like, the world's going to ridicule you. I know what it's like to be misunderstood and labeled. And he's like, okay, yeah, that's great. Tell a joke.
Yeah, tell me a joke. That's what you here for. You good for telling jokes.
I'm pretty sure there's a clip of Dave Chappelle somewhere talking about, like, what was it? I wish I had it on deck with me right now, but it was basically like talking about the same steps that Kanye is going right now, where he kind of spirals, or, you know, whatever you want to say, has a breakdown, and like not just a breakdown, but in the breakdown, like in the spotlight as a celebrity, as a black man, and it's like someone was like, it's like Dave Chappelle knew, and he knew because he was in the same
shared that
shoes. Yeah,
experience,
definitely.
And my issue, I guess, with all of that is you just don't know what someone's going through, right? So for me, it's like the public's the judge and the jury, and they decide, hey, Kanye's having a manic episode, and he's crazy. I don't like to use the C word. It's triggering. It's a mislabel.
Word crazy is triggering?
Yes, especially towards women. Like, we are, if we're misunderstood,
Labeled as crazy.
we're crazy.
Says the same lady who says you go out of character every now and then.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Look, this is my thing.
Let me find out you're legitimately crazy and you now don't like the
Nobody's
word.
tires have been slashed. I've never shown up at anyone's house unannounced. I will say I've done some petty things, but nothing crazy to compromise someone's life ever.
Have you considered it?
That's totally different.
No, I just want to know, have you thought about it?
Like, have I been in a car without my driver's license, potentially under the influence with multiple friends? Yes, but it's assumptive risk. If you're hanging out with me, you're down to have a good time, whatever that looks like. It doesn't make me crazy.
Tell you something. Anybody that has the 2 words ready to go, assumptive risk, I thought we were just talking right now. I didn't know you were referring to other conversations and references. There's no way assumptive risk.
She said, yeah, I drunk drive.
Not, okay.
I didn't have ID. That way no one could ID me.
Listen.
They would know everyone else in the vehicle.
Enforcing or endorsing drunk driving. It's a very serious matter. And please, children, if you're going to drink, stay home, get an Uber. This was before
Adults
Uber.
too.
Right? Everybody.
And no matter what you do, don't get in the car with some crazy person talking about assumptive risk.
Okay.
She's saying you assumed the risk wasn't enough that you shouldn't have gotten into the vehicle. Therefore, your life is mine.
Okay. Since we're on the verge of crazy people, I thought it was nice to bring up listening to Drea, and we all know her from Basketball Wives, and her comments on the Meg and Tory situation. So I don't know if you guys saw the clip, but basically they're asking like, hey, what's your 90 seconds of what happened? And she was like, I think they had a little Bonnie and Clyde, a little Bobby and Whitney moment. And the Kardashian, the Jenner, Kylie was flirting with Tory and Megan wasn't having it. So she started beating him up. And so he shot her. And yeah, or if I was trying to leave, that's what she said. If I was trying to leave, I would want the person that I'm with to check me and be like, no, you're not going nowhere, pow and foot. Like she wants someone to love her or like her enough to shoot her is what she said on the podcast. And this is where.
What?
That's what who said?
Drea from Basketball Wives.
Okay.
Oh my God. That's
So
a hot take.
Yeah.
He's like, how do I know you
Extremely
love
hot
me
take.
if you're not willing to be so passionate that you'll try to hurt me with a gun?
To take my life, attempted murder. And, Megan commented because Megan's about that life. And
Oh, I didn't know she did.
oh, yeah, she tweeted about it and was just like, this is not something to glorify. This is my life. She could have died.
Was that tweet from like a week or a couple days ago when she said people are making jokes about it? But like,
No, this one was dumb bitch like that. Shouldn't be commenting on stuff that she knows nothing about. And this is my life. Like I could have died. It's not a fucking joke.
Right.
And shut it down all the way. And Drea apologized, and she apologized for her bird behavior. But if we're talking about crazy, like, yes, that is crazy. Like if you just glorify domestic violence or a civil dispute.
No, that's violent.
No, that's crazy.
You can be crazy without being violent.
No, that's crazy that she wants that, is what I'm saying.
There's people who are crazy just from being hoarders,
I've seen tweets before.
couponers.
That's not crazy.
Yes, there's an obsession. There's a level of obsession that is outside of the realm of what is normal and realistic to be doing. And something can drive you there, sweetheart.
So that could be a disorder or a mental illness.
You got one of those?
I mean, I'm in therapy. If we're talking, I'm in therapy. So that's my whole thing. My whole spiel on Kanye and Kim's comments and everybody's comments is bipolar is manageable with drugs. And Kanye does suffer from manic episodes. And he also has super emo moments, like the really high highs and the super low lows. And it sucks because he's in the public eye. And so often times, like this last time, it's just an unfortunate event that he could have, not even that he could have, that was outside of his control.
Right.
Because when you have a mental illness, you can't control it like a normal person.
Right.
And so therapy is one of the things that works with people who are bipolar because they're able to have an emotional outlet to help them better manage their episodes. So oftentimes all the doctors do is just, hey, here's a prescription, manage it the best way possible. And that's not always the best route to do.
Hell no, that's not the right route because doctors are just trying to monetize the medicine.
Absolutely. It's not health care, it's health cost.
That reminds me, one time I went to the doctor for allergies. It was a couple years ago because we had a really late winter. Really, really late spring. So everything just hit at once. And so I was sitting there. He looked at my medical records, saw that I had anxiety on there. And he goes, have you ever had Xanax? And I was like, I'm here for something else. Like, I'm not, I told him straight up, I was like, I don't want to get into that because, like it's a whole issue. And that was during that peak of like addiction, with Xans and all that. And I told him that straight up. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm already on like another medication and it's sedative also, but it's like, it's hydroxyzine. So it's a little bit different and you can use it for allergies too. So I was like, it's working for me. Like, it's fine. And he was just like pushing me for it. And I was like, nah. And I just walked out and like, just left and everything. And
I know some people who'd like to know what doctor that is.
Right. Since they're writing just free scripts. Right?
I don't remember
all need a drug dealer.
where it was in University Place, but like
There you go, people. Go to University Place.
He left though. The practice is no longer there.
I wonder Why?
I know. I
The
hopefully
malpractice
got caught
suits you
up,
don't
but-
ever hear about. And that's the crazy thing is the health grades. Whenever anyone does a health grade, they don't actually put any reasonable things that we should know. They're just like, oh, my God, doctor is great. Yeah, but what you don't fail to mention is that your doctor's got you on 13 prescriptions and you've gained 50 pounds. But you're fine because you're high all the time. So,
Right. Yeah, the big pharma. That's to simplify it. It's all big pharma. It's all, profit basically. And
It's crazy, man. We're talking about some dark stuff right now.
I know.
I'm going to lighten it up with some material by one of my comedian friends of mine. He's actually not a friend of mine, but we dug and found it, and it's actually very funny. It's from Comedy Juice. This is comedian Mike Baldwin going in about going to therapy. Check it out.
I'm going to therapy and stuff. People always get weird about that. But it's good for you, Everybody can use it. Because it's not, all right, somebody in therapy. Yeah, I'm not weird. See, the guy said it's okay. It just helps to have somebody to talk about the weird shit that you think with, You can't talk to your friends about that stuff. You can, but it just doesn't work as well, You're like, I'm just really sad all the time. And they're like, well, just quit being a bitch. Oh, I'll try that. Okay. Thanks. I'm glad I have friends. No, I have a weird thing in my brain or whatever. I either do things emotionally or I do things logically. I'm not good at using like a healthy mix of both of those things. So it's negatively affected me a lot in my life. I'm like, I want to have sex with this girl. And then I'm like, but she's married. And I'm like, I don't care about that part. Like, I just emotionally want to put my wiener in her. Or then I'll do the opposite, where I'll like end relationships too soon, and I'm like, we should just break up. And they're like, what? Everything's going great. And I'm like, yeah, but one day it probably won't, so we'll just break up right now. So I do. It's called DBT. It means dialectical behavioral therapy. It helps you like use both sides of your brain and shit. It works. I'm doing slightly better. I'm here. So, but it's weird because they say to not like compare yourselves to the other. I go to group and stuff, and there's like other people in the group, and we have to like talk about the weird things that we did that week or whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, I was at a restaurant with my girlfriend, and I asked for no onions, and it had onions, and I started crying. And then somebody else is like, I tried to kill myself, and I'm like, oh yeah, so pretty much the same. Pretty much. I mean, we both have problems. That's what they teach you, though, to like be healthy about demonstrating your emotions and stuff. Because like that's what happens is you just let shit build up when you don't talk about it, and then you snap for no reason, and you're like, I just wanted no onions, and it had onions, and then I'm crying in front of a waiter, and then my girlfriend's mad at me in the car, like, why would you fucking cry about onions? And I'm like, it's not even about the onions. Like, you need to walk your fucking dog. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you don't understand me. Like,
Mike Baldwin. Huh?
hilarious.
Here's the thing, like it's a funny joke, right? Like what he's talking about is the comparison between different people's levels of what they're experiencing. And how do you know? One person's bugging out about one thing, another person's bugging out about another thing, and one person's on the verge of taking their life, the other person is just sad from 3 to 3:15 that day.
Yeah.
Is there a spectrum for
Definitely.
right? But you can't. Two people standing in the lobby of the DMV talking to each other can't sort out the spectrum between who's
Right.
worse. I've seen people have a crazy offs just in the streets.
Like literally.
Oh,
just
you
trying
think
to-
you crazy motherfucker? Like I've seen the crazy off. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, well, let's see who's the craziest motherfucker out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you got a whole bunch of people that don't even get checked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't even
Yeah.
get checked. They're so confident in themselves or so afraid of the healthcare system they don't get checked. I don't want to say it's just like a cultural thing because I know people of different nationalities that just don't, but hella black people do that too.
Right, we pray
be
about
sick,
everything.
go to the hospital. You ain't had a physical in
Stigmatization.
17 years.
They don't go to any type of doctor, whether
Right.
it's a therapist, a counselor. They don't even talk to their pastors, and it just
That's where everybody tells them to go. They're like, go to the church. You need to pray. If you're crazy, you need to talk to God. Now they sitting up in church, them praying, all of their different voices.
all the
Everybody's
paranoid
praying all at
schizophrenia.
once. They all talking at once. Dear Lord, dear Lord, dear Lord. Like everybody's just down there confused. All three people talking at one time. And I'm not trying to make fun of schizophrenia. I'm just saying that ain't where you're supposed to go for your healing. Like you should go speak with somebody professionally and get it right. You know what I mean?
Right, which was a Twitter topic where they were asking, like, should your spouse be someone that helps you with your mental health?
I saw that this morning. I think.
Yeah, and my stance on it is your partner, one, is not an emotional punching bag, right? And two, we all have emotional capacities in which we can handle certain things. We all have our own set of problems, and what I'm walking around with, sometimes I'm able to carry the weight of other people's issues or just be a listening ear. But there are trained professionals that their job every day is to literally help you sort your shit. Now, if you have 9 different voices, I'm not sure if you're going to need one therapist or 9 different therapists, but they're the best ones to tell you if that's what you need.
My thing is, you know, the human brain is magnificent. And can't just anybody come in trying to rewire stuff.
Right.
Your spouse, frankly, is not equipped.
Right.
They're just there to love you.
Just love you, be indifferent about the love, and just keep the love
That's their
unconditional.
only job.
That's your only job. But unless you are already, you have multiple degrees on the wall, or you leave home to go to work and all that, like to go to work and you working with people all day long, that's a lot to unpack for just a regular person who has a 9 to 5, or even if you don't, just if that's not your occupation, that's a lot to unpack.
Right.
Especially if you're dealing with your own stuff too, and then you
And we
gotta like
are.
play therapist. Yeah, yeah.
And then how are you able to be truly objective and give them the care they need when the session's over? That's still your husband.
Right.
That's still your wife.
And like there's sorry, go ahead.
no. That's all I'm saying is how when does it end?
Like they
Right.
can't be all things. No one person can be all
Yeah.
things. You can't be my spouse plus be my parent plus be my therapist plus be my pastor. You can't.
Right.
You can't. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people feel entitled to someone's everything all of the time. Like, when do they get to focus on them? When do you get to have more self-care, which is one of the things that I definitely wanted to talk about, which therapy is a form of self-care.
Tell me about self-care.
So self-care, to me, this is my self-care, is anything I do to maintain my mental health, my physical health, anything that I do to keep this going, all of this joy. There's things that I have to do.
Pun intended.
Yeah. The happiness. It's like everything that suits my core. There's things I have to do. Like I have to work. I have to eat, got to breathe, got to sleep, got to do chores. If I want clean clothes, got to wash them. But there's things that I want to do that do bring me happiness. My personal self-care right now is gardening. So yeah,
I love this for you.
Oh.
I love gardening. Oh
It's
my gosh.
Ah.
great.
Do you?
I do. So no one knows this, but when I was in high school, I was a super skipper. Never went to class. And I had an angel for...
I'm gonna be honest with you. I just want to say this. I want you to still get your thought off because it's important. But I had an inclination of this because when we were talking about college tuition and COVID, you were like, you can't even skip. I was like, how is not going to class but paying tuition? And you feel like if I decide not to, I can't
So-
get my
click the
money.
Zoom.
But that's a form of self-care, managing your time wisely, knowing
Mm-hmm.
what's for you and what's not for you. Does it mean skipping a class so you can get some extra hours of sleep because you've been up cramming?
I've done that before. I've literally emailed the professor.
Or good self-care is to just make a schedule around your true sleep schedule and not lie to yourself when you're with the registrar.
But not everyone's life is perfect. Some people have to work full-time jobs and take care of kids while they go to college. So there's that gray area.
That's true.
It becomes necessary. I wish our lives were linear and the schedule of picture perfect and I could put everything in a grid and Monday at 2:00 I could just take a nap. No, that's not how my life works. Now that we've created this new reality that we live in, I have to remind myself that with not being able to go outside and socialize, I still need to maintain some sort of personal joy in my day.
Yes.
So right now I have cucumbers. They're growing like crazy. I don't know if I'm going to do like pickles or if I'm just going to have a bunch of
Wait,
salads.
so you have a row?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can call that a garden yet.
I don't
I
have
think
a
it takes
single room.
3 rows.
Okay, let me finish.
To be a garden.
I have
Does it?
carrots.
Is that the?
And I
Okay,
have
so you
onions.
have multiple things.
I do. It's just I'm very proud of the cucumbers.
You have onions?
I do have onions. They take forever to grow. But
Onions or like green onions?
No,
or?
like onions. Yeah.
Mm.
And just reading about like
Yum.
all the time and dedication and like temperature fluctuations that they need.
Yeah.
I'm not like in the best spot for lighting, but I'm very attentive to like
it's
water.
indoors.
So it's outdoors, and I have a back patio that's like trumped by trees. So I have to move the plants regularly.
It's Obama'd by trees?
Look, I live in 600 square feet. So if you know how small that is, you know your back patio is 2 steps, and that's pretty much it. And
It's an apartment?
Yeah, I live in an
Oh, okay,
apartment.
okay,
and
yeah,
so I can't have the flower bed on the actual railing because it's a liability.
Right.
If it just knocks off and knocks somebody in the head, they could sue me. And
You can't do hanging planters?
No, you can't do anything. So I have like
Oh.
an aisle when it looks like a little bookshelf. And so each row I have.
That's
Yeah,
smart.
Amazon. So if you like gardening, it is super cheap to me. Super easy. You can get all the stuff from your local grocery store. Everything's on sale right now. It's great. So that's my self-care is I'll go out there and I'm very present with my plants. I talk to them. I love on them. Not in like a super affectionate way, but like I pat the soil and make sure they have
Talk to
adequate
them.
water. Yeah, talking to
Encourage them. Yeah,
yeah.
It helps. It helps.
Like, what do you say? Like, if there was a plant right there.
So my cucumbers, I'm like, you're going to be so big and so delicious and you're going to be someone's pickle someday. And I don't know about too many things in life, but if I could be a pickle, that would probably be great. People love pickles and not just like
do.
any kind of pickles. Like I grew up on Vietnamese spicy pickles. If you don't like spicy pickles, I don't know if we could really be friends, but I'm going to
sounds
make
good.
my own spicy pickles. So I'm just excited about the process and I'm celebrating every day that I go out there and I see them. I didn't even know cucumbers had yellow flowers, but they do. So that's my little self-care
That's
spiel.
cool.
Thanks, guys.
happy.
What are
for
you
you.
doing for self-care, Ayano?
Currently.
Well, right now we're doing a
Right now.
podcast. but
Or
I
no,
wanna
I'm
know,
saying like currently.
in your life.
Like currently in my
Yes.
life or in the
Yes.
past? Okay. Right now, kind of similar to gardening. I don't have the space
What?
for gardening because I live in an apartment and we have like, we're on the 2nd floor. So we get sunlight, but it's just like,
It's hard.
yeah, it's hard. It's just like not ideal. And plus like, you know, I'm not in a stable position to have something, you know, stable like a garden.
Like keeping it alive.
Yeah, and like I might move, who knows, whatever. But my mom has a garden and she has like a couple plots and she has like collard greens. She has some greens that like some Japanese greens. She has green onions, like cucumbers, green beans, like just like she's been working hard at it for a couple years. So I help her out there or just like, you know, pick my own vegetables and even just like picking the vegetables. It's so,
Therapeutic.
yeah.
You're just
something-
at peace.
Yeah. You just feel like you're
Wow.
one with the earth and
What
like
in the actual fuck, man?
I'm serious.
Nate, what are you doing for self-care?
First of all, I understand that gardening is a phenomenal source of self-care and self-therapy and just peace of mind that you're big on. I just didn't put y'all in gardens walking around plucking cucumbers and making spicy pickles.
I love that.
Or
I have,
you
like,
over here
I have a bunch of house plants too.
de-weeding a collard green aisle.
So I'm
around-
worse. I'm not even like because you know people are like plant parents, and that's a whole thing.
Yeah, I have 12. My
So-
boyfriend and I have 12 plants.
There is
Almost
actually
13.
a black plant store somewhere in U District. I don't know what the name of it. I was walking past it.
U
in
District Seattle.
Yes,
For those
in-
who aren't from here.
and I know they're part of the LGBTQ committee as
Oh,
well.
that's cool.
And we were walking past them doing a protest, and they were like, "Yeah, we're black owned. We're college students." I didn't get the name because we were protesting, but
Yeah.
if you have a chance, look them up.
It's a plant store
It's a plant
owned by
store.
LGBT.
Q black people.
Wow.
Yes, right. They're intersectional with it.
What was the name of it?
That's what I'm saying. I didn't get a chance.
Did they play on that? Where they're like,
I don't know, but either way, like it just reminded me of just how my journey with plants came about. When I was in high school and I was skipping, this was the story I had started with. Miss
it's
Anderson.
called Rain Grow.
Rain grow?
That would be
Yeah, like
maybe
rainbow with grow in it.
That's cute. That's a
Rain
cute
grow.
pun. I like that.
Right.
I like that.
You know what
Wow.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's really Googling. We need to find it
am.
though. So I was skipping all the time, failing my science class. And I was in plant biology 101. And I wasn't interested in the class like most kids. Like it was boring. So I skipped and me and 3 of my friends got called in for detention for skipping her class for a week straight. And she was like, here's the thing. I know you don't like school, but the only way you're going to pass is if A, you drop my course and take an F, or B, you can join Future Farmers of America. So when I was 16, I joined Future Farmers of America, and Lincoln High School and Wilson High School took first place in, we did a couple of science projects, like floral arrangements is actually a science project. We won first place with that. And we won first place with explaining the fermentation of cabbage, AKA kimchi. So we explained that process as well. So I've been around plants forever. Worked in a flower shop. If you need some bouquets, I can get you all the way together. I like leis though. Those are kind of my thing.
This is insane. You're telling me you were a future farmer of America?
Yes. And you do not know how many non-people of color there are. Like, it's literally, they had never seen a brown person ever.
You're a future farmer of America.
Graduate.
Award-winning future farmer of America.
Yes. They gave us money and everything. It was crazy.
This is crazy. You can't judge a fine-ass manipulative book by its cover.
You can judge me. That is your own right. But you'll be wrong.
You cannot. And you can't judge fine ass taking grandbaby's book by its cover either. Ayano's out here weeding aisles of collard greens. I'm tripping. Now I am the one out of all of us. If you know me, ain't no garden self-love. We have 8.5 acres. We garden for real. My dad's an agriculture major. It is not fun.
Wow.
We have hours and hours and hours outside in that goddamn garden.
So what do you do for self-care then?
Take a bath. Get out from outside. Take a bath. A grown-ass me, my big ass, bathing. That is my new self-love. No, I don't do all that.
You don't do no bubbles?
No, I just be still. Just be still. I like sitting in a hot tub, being still. I like sitting in a tub, being still. I like... my new thing right now is Call of Duty Warzone. That doesn't really relax you because you're tense for 20 minutes at a time.
And hunched over.
But it's still fun. And so anything that kind of takes my mind off of what I have as far as my business obligations is what I'm doing for peace of mind. But the garden, not anymore. Maybe if I was like, if I was patting the fresh soil above a cucumber and speaking to it, and then a yellow flower peeked through and was like, "Hey, mama," like maybe I would garden then. Right. But to me, it's more like, boy, if you don't get out there and weed that whole damn aisle, you better weed that before I bring this tractor over here and whoop your ass. Like that is my experience with the garden.
I actually saw a tweet this morning. This reminds me. Someone was talking about. So there's like a aesthetic called cottagecore. It's supposed to be like the aesthetic of having a cottage and owning a farm and these things. And this one person...
Hold on. Tell me about that after the break.
What up, everybody? It's your girl, Ness.
And Mo Better getting Mo Better.
And we're Hot Apple Cypher.
Yeah.
Tune in, subscribe, the podcast.
Don't make this. I'm sorry.
The podcast. You can find us anytime you want to, as long as you subscribe to our podcast, Hot Apple Cypher, on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Play. Make sure you do that. Tell a friend.
Moist better?
Moist.
Oh, man. Did you just use that goddamn word? I done told you about that word.
What up, everybody? It's your girl, Ness.
And moist. Is that okay? And moist. I hate that word.
She is delusional.
I'm not delusional. You're using that. I hate that word. What up, everybody? This is Mo Better getting Mo Better.
And it's your girl, Ness.
And we are Hot Apple Cypher.
Cut.
How should I say it?
Just say Hot Apple Cypher.
Hot Apple Cypher.
There. Just regular. We're just talking.
Hot Apple Cypher.
Hot Apple Cypher.
Hot Apple Cypher.
What up, everybody? It's your girl, Ness.
And Mo Better getting Mo Better.
And we are Hot Apple Cypher.
The podcast.
Tune in and subscribe. Find us on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play.
We are Hot Apple Cypher.
And we're back.
Okay, so I saw a tweet about this like person was saying how like cottagecore is like kind of the like the romanticization of farming, and like you were saying you don't find it like peaceful to you at all because you actually live on a farm, or you grew up on a farm and it was like a job for you guys, and for like other people it's like an aesthetic.
Because it's leisure for you.
Right, yeah.
You don't have to do it all the time.
And this
you don't have to rely on that for your entire diet.
Right. Yeah. And this person was saying, like, there's people who like can't take care of houseplants, but they're so like wrapped up in this idea of having like their own farm one day.
It's voyeurism.
Yeah, and like so this person was saying that it's classist to kind of think about it like that because, and they said gardening and like, you know, like like actually taking care of houseplants is different, but they said like this, you know, having a farm because it's like a livelihood for a lot of people. It's what brings them food on the table every day.
Pays their bills.
Pays their bills, everything. And there's some people, this person who commented about it, they were saying how they were born into it the same way you were, you know, with your parents, and they just had to do it. And so they were just saying how like,
when
you
it's
know,
survival, it's ghetto, it's poor. But when it's like, hey, this is a luxury, it's rich. And
you're going to do the opposite of what you have to do for your relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys are like, I have plants on my porch. A cucumber farmer would throw up if they farmed all day outside working on cucumbers and then came inside to pat some more on the patio. Like that's not leisure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anyway, so if it whatever brings you peace of mind is dope. I want to play this clip by comedian Lily Singh. It's funny. It's about self-care.
Now, I'm going to be real with y'all. It has been a long couple of months between shooting 2 shows a day, updating my YouTube channel, and taking care of a dog. I haven't had a lot of time for self-care, although I do still make time for my emotional support cupcakes. Self-care is all the rage these days, and everyone you know has self-care tips. I hear them from my friends. I see it online. I feel like I need to perform maintenance on myself like I'm a car. I guess self-care means I need to hire a guy named Hank to service me once a month. And I'm down. I'm down. Everyone has a different definition of self-care. Some people get massages. Some people snuggle up with a good book. I like to cancel plans on my friends last minute so I can stay in my PJs and binge watch Storage Wars. My therapist says that's selfish, but I'm like, selfish, self-care, potato, potato. And I'm all for self-care, but lately, it's getting out of control. You know what I mean? You can use self-care as an excuse for almost anything. Sleeping in late, it's self-care. Leaving a party early, self-care. Breaking up with someone you don't find attractive is self-care. Basically, anything that used to be considered rude or bad behavior is acceptable if you call it self-care. Sorry, self-care. Straight up, you could push your nemesis down a flight of stairs and say, look, I needed to do it for myself. And your nemesis would nod all broken at the bottom of the stairs and say, I get it, you do you, for you. Practicing self-care seems like a very modern idea. Like, my great-grandmother was on her feet all day, cooking, cleaning, raising a family. I don't think she had any time to be like, ugh, my pores are so huge. I better go get my colon flushed with CBD oil. I feel like before, self-care was only for rich people, but now it's for everyone. Like, self-care used to mean starting a 401k when you turn 30. Now it means getting high first thing in the morning because you're sad you ran out of cereal. She knows what I'm talking about. You talking way too loud out here, okay? She's like, this is my biography.
Lily Singh. Very funny. You guys can check out Lily Singh. She is online. It's LILLYSINGH. Lily Singh. Check her out. And if you wanted to know who we had on before, it was Mike Baldwin with a joke about going to therapy on Comedy Juice. I'm not going to take credit for finding those because Joy did.
I did.
Great job.
Thanks.
Yeah, so tubs. I'm getting in the tub. That's my self-care. I also randomly, I don't know if this is going to be something that I do like consistently, but I was looking for some stationery at Safeway, and like I just need like a couple manila folders, and there was this like really dope black and white, like a lion, like the full mane and all these different little spots on its face, and it was like the most elaborate coloring book I had ever seen. It was like adult coloring book.
You should do it.
I bought it, and I
There we
bought
go.
24 colored pencils. I was like, man, I might have to find some time to do this. And so I actually did. I did one. It's a giant like goldfish. Like every scale was a different
that's
color.
cool.
I was like, you gotta be high for this.
You should bring it in for show and tell.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll show it. You guys are gonna be like, okay. Like,
Yes, we gonna hype you up, boo. That's a form of self.
Coloring is like mad, like it's mad peaceful. You deep in
Yeah.
your right brain. You're thinking of all kind of funny content and stuff because you're not working with your left brain. You grab the color, you just fill it in the spot. But the difference is, it's not like coloring when you were a kid and you get to the restaurant early and they give you that little packet and everybody's got the same
crayons.
dog. It's a Dalmatian in a firefighter outfit standing up. Like, not that. This was like a for real complicated, like.
It had more than 45 different palettes that required.
When you
to
finish
focus.
it, it's art. Like that. That's what each.
And it's
each page
satisfying
was.
when you finish it too.
Right, there's
Because
some
you're like,
completion.
oh wow.
Yeah,
like,
you feel accomplished. Like,
yeah.
I did this. I
Yeah.
finished something.
Mm-hmm.
Because how many times do you walk through life and you start something and then you have to start another thing and then you can't even remember the list of things that you started that need finishing?
Right.
4 times.
That's like all of my
More
personal
than
projects.
That is my whole
yeah.
life. That's why these cucumbers are important to me, to see it all the way
Right.
through. So like and subscribe. We are on YouTube, guys. We are also on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
I changed it actually. I know, because I couldn't do it last time. I made it last time because I didn't think I was just gonna be sharing it like that. And then I was here on the front of the camera and I was like, oh shit, like I gotta
Let's make this easy.
Yeah,
for
but
everybody.
it's ayano.es and you can find me there.
Spell that.
ayano.es.
Gotcha.
It's like Ayano in Espanol.
I didn't even think about it like that. It was actually like my middle initial and my last name, and I was like, I'm just gonna like
Make it easy.
simple. Yeah, make it simple, make it easy.
That's what's up. What's yours, Joy?
Well, I've had my Twitter handle for over 2 decades. It's little_Belize. It's not going to change.
2 decades.
Yeah.
LITT or LIL?
LITTLE_Belize, the country in South America. BELIZE.
Wonderful. Mine is at Mr. Nate Jackson or the superfunnycomedyclub.com. And the podcast is live for video. You can go on our YouTube at Super Funny Comedy Club, or you can listen to the podcast anywhere you get your podcast. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, all of that. So
Hit us up everywhere.
it is okay to be the biggest fan of the show.
Yes, or
Please.
me or Ayano or Nate, if you love one of us or all of us, or just
Show us some
cucumbers and pickles and self-care and therapy and Kanye. Just love all of our shit. So
And
like
ask
it.
some questions. Like submit some stuff.
Just
ask,
DM
ask
us,
whatever you want to ask. You know?
comment,
Maybe not
engage.
everything, but
Yeah, we want to hear from you guys too.
Y'all can ask. And also, if you want to sponsor the show or be one of the commercials that are on the show, you need to reach out. It's info@superfunnycomedyclub.com. Y'all be cool now. Peace.
bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nate Jackson Podcasting Network.